All right. Hey, everybody. We're just a few minutes late. Let me fix my view. Make sure you can see. All right, cool. I think. My head is going to get cut off when we're running through the poses, but that's totally okay. My name's Meg. Thank you guys for joining. And this is a 60-minute vinyasa yoga class. Everything I say is a suggestion, so up level or down level as needed. It's your practice, and I can't see you, so do whatever you want, really. Yeah, I think that's about it. We are going to get started on our backs, and if you have two pillows, I wrote it in the comments if anybody saw, two pillows or two rolled up blankets. This will be a good place to use them. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So laying on your back, bring the soles of your feet together, and then just let your knees fall wide. And if your knees don't quite reach the mat, this is a good place to grab your pillow and just place them on your knees, just for support, and get settled in here. And then once you arrive in your pose, place your hands somewhere on your body. So they could be on your thighs or your belly, a rib cage, maybe even your heart space. Just somewhere making contact with your body, just as a signal of support, letting your body know that you're taking some time today to listen and to drop in. And then start to bring your focus and your awareness onto your breath, following your inhales and your exhales as they move through your body. Feeling an opening and a reciprocity with each inhale, and just a sinking in and a softening with each exhale. The earth holds this resource of renewal for us, so just allow yourself to kind of tap into that mantra, tap into the renewal that's available when we fully trust and allow ourselves to be supported by the earth. Just a few more breaths here. If you feel and notice your mind wandering, just bring it back to the sensation of the breath in your body. Maybe a sigh, release, open mouth, exhale. And then start to bring your hands to the outsides of your legs, drawing your knees together, hugging your knees into your chest, maybe rocking from side to side or rolling out your knees. Just starting to find some movement here, getting into the hips, rolling out your sacrum. Continuing to breathe deep. And then keeping your right knee hugged in, let your left leg fall long on the earth and draw your right knee up and wide, kind of bringing it outside of your rib cage, drawing it in towards your armpit. You can roll out your ankle here. My cats are going crazy. And then bring your knee back to center. Scoot your hips over to the right just a little bit, and then continue your knee over to the left. So you're finding a little bit of a twist. Not forcing your knee down to the earth, just letting it land wherever it does. You can also take your pillow or blanket and place it under your knee here for support. And then let your right arm lay long, maybe in a cactus or just straight out from your shoulder. Drawing your right knee back to your chest, giving it one more squeeze. And then drawing your left knee in, allowing your right leg to lay long. And drawing your knee outside of your rib cage up towards your armpit, opening up your left hip, sending breath to your left hip. And then bringing your knee back to center, scoot your hips over to the left, let your knee fall to the right. And then you can place, again, the pillow underneath your knee for support, opening your left arm to a cactus or a T, creating space with your inhale, and then exhaling, releasing into that space. Inhale, draw your knee back to center, neutralize your hips, and then hug both knees back into your chest just once more, maybe finding another little rock from side to side or a little swivel with your knees. And then if it feels okay on your spine, start to rock and roll along your spine however many times you'd like. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you can always just roll off onto one side. We're going to meet in a tabletop position. So however many rocks and rolls, however you want to get there, nice and slow. And I didn't say this, but if you want to play music, I don't have any music playing, I guess for obvious reasons, but if you want to put any tunes on in the background, that's a great little ambiance booster. So coming on to all fours, tabletop position, shoulders stacked over wrist, hips stacked over knees. We'll find a few cat-cows here. As you inhale, soften your belly, pull your chest up, and your gaze will lift. Then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, draw chin towards your chest. So inhaling for cow, heart pulls through. And exhale, find cat, press the floor away, round your spine. We'll continue here with a few breaths, just following your own rhythm. And if there's any other intuitive movements you want to take in your body, maybe swaying your hips or finding some barrel rolls with your spine, just starting to tap into the intelligence of your being and what you specifically need today. Take one more round of breath. And then we'll just meet in stillness in a neutral spine, keeping your hips stacked over your knees. Start to walk your hands out in front of you. You can come up on your fingertips or palms, press into the earth to broaden through your upper back, roll shoulders and biceps away from your ears. Inhale here, and then soften on the exhale your heart towards the earth, coming into a puppy pose. Your forehead can soften and release towards the ground, or if you have enough space, you can lay your chin on the earth and look forward. Just breathing into your shoulders and your back body. One more breath cycle here. And then start to curl your tailbone, press into the earth, draw yourself up, and then walk your hands back to a tabletop position. Take one round of cat here, so round the belly, round the spine, drop your head, just neutralizing the opposite direction from what we just did. And then walk your palms just a little bit out in front of you. Palms are going to be super active here, pressing into the earth. Tuck your toes, and then start to send your hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. We'll have a few breaths here for any intuitive movements if you'd like to pedal out your feet. So dropping one heel, bending through the knee of the other leg, and then switching sides. Maybe releasing ankles from side to side, getting into the side body. And eventually come into stillness, pressing the floor away, rolling shoulders away from your ears, tailbone reaches towards the sky, and you can keep your knees as bent as you need. But we'll take an inhale here, come up onto the balls of your feet, reach tailbone towards sky, and then exhale, soften heels back to earth. And your heels never have to touch, but just so they're energetically drawing towards the earth. And we'll do that twice more, inhaling up onto the balls of your feet, and exhale, release down. Once more, inhale, lift up, and exhale, release. Then coming onto your knees, bring your knees wide and just let your hips sink down to your heels, coming into a wide leg child's pose. Forehead can drop to the earth, maybe rolling along your third eye from side to side. One more breath here. And then press yourself back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up behind you, bend your knee and open your hip. So your knee is going to be drawing and tracking towards the sky, right heel to left glute. Breathing here, you can find some circles with your ankle or even your hip. Just breathing deep. Inhale to straighten your leg, neutralize your hips, and release right foot to earth. Taking that on the other side, inhale, left leg lifts, and open your hip, bend your knee. If you'd like to draw circles with your ankle or your knee, opening up and lubricating through your hip joint. One more breath. And reach left leg long, neutralize your hips, and release your left foot to the earth. Take one deep breath in here, and a deep exhale out, open mouth. With an inhale, start to roll yourself forward, coming into plank pose. You can drop your right knee, open your left leg out to the side, so you're coming onto the shin of your left foot, and then spin your back toes down. So your back toes are going to be at a warrior 2 foot, if that makes sense. And press into the earth with your right hand as you inhale, sweep your left arm up, opening up to the left. Actively pressing into your left foot, into your right hand, lengthening up towards the sky. You can keep your arm lifting here, or if you'd like to draw your bicep along your ear, bringing your palm towards the earth, that's going to create a little bit more length in your left side body. Breathing deep, opening up. And then release your left hand back to the earth, sitting back, coming into a plank pose. Releasing left leg this time, spinning left foot open, coming onto the side of your right foot. And then inhaling, sweeping right arm open and up towards the sky. Taking a few breaths here. And then if you'd like to lengthen a little bit more, draw that right bicep up over your right ear. Palm towards the earth. Inhale your hand back up and sweep it down to the earth. Stepping back once more into plank pose and hips press up and back, downward facing dog. Finding your breath here. And then ever so slowly start to walk your feet to your hands. Nice and slow, finding a forward fold once you arrive. Just letting your head hang heavy towards the earth. Nice generous bend in your knee if you'd like, or both knees. You can grab for opposite elbows here if you'd like to find a rag doll and stay in stillness, or if it feels okay, you can always sway from side to side. Just letting every exhale release and soften your body a little bit more. If you have a grip, go ahead and release it. We're going to inhale, find a halfway lift. So your hands are going to press either against your shins or even fingertips to earth. But halfway lift, lengthen your spine, tailbone to crown. And then exhale, forward fold again. Taking your peace fingers, hook them around your big toe. Keeping your knees bent as much as needed. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale, pull your forehead and your head towards the earth. If your elbows bend, they're going to open out to the sides. So this is just more of an active forward fold. Drawing your chest towards your thighs, head towards your feet. Breathing deep. One more deep breath cycle. And then halfway lift, release the grip on your toes. Bring hands to hips and inhale with a flat back. Come all the way up to standing. Just taking a moment here. Hands can be beside your hips. Oh, wow, you really can't see my head at all. Feeling into your feet, feeling into your legs. Nice tug of the tailbone. And inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms, draw your chest towards the sky. We'll do that twice more. Inhaling, reaching straight up. And exhale, heart lifts towards the sky. Once more, lengthening up. And exhale as you open up. Good. Inhale, back to center, neutral spine. Release your hands to the side. And bringing your feet wide as your mat, if not wider. Turn your toes out, 10 and 2, and then just start to sink your hips all the way down. This is a great place for your pillow or blanket. If you have it, we're coming into a Malasana squat, and we'll be here for a little bit. So if you want some added support, you can sit on something here. So your feet are pressing down into the earth. Bring hands to heart center and elbows press into your knees to open your knees wide, opening your hips. And using that leverage to lengthen your spine, reaching your crown up towards the sky, your tailbone rooting down. So just finding a few breaths here if you'd like to close your eyes. And stay here in stillness if you'd like, or we can find some movement. So if you want to come with me, release your left hand to the earth and inhale, sweep your right arm up, opening up to the right. Exhaling, sweeping your hand down, and inhale as you open up. Just doing that a few more times, following your breath. If you want to find a bind here, that's an option as well. Once more, open up, and then release, hands back to heart center, pressing palms together, pressing elbows against knees. And then releasing right hand to earth. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and wide. And exhale down to the earth. A few more times like that, just following your breath, inhaling as you open and expand. And exhale, releasing down. And take one more round wherever you are. And then release back to a neutral squat, neutral malasana. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. And then release, hands to earth. Start to press your feet into the earth to straighten your legs, turning toes back to parallel. Take a halfway lift. And exhale, just find a forward fold, releasing your spine. Maybe swaying from side to side, letting the head go. And then ever so slowly, start to press yourself up, rolling vertebra by vertebra, up to standing. Head comes last. Inhaling, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, hands release by your side. We'll run through a few different vinyasas, or I should say 2 vinyasas. So just following my cues, moving slow and intentionally, and using your breath to initiate the movement. So inhale, arms will sweep wide and high. Exhale, find a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank pose. And a few options here. If you want to just go straight to downward facing dog, that is a great option. You can also go through a vinyasa here. So pitching your weight forward ever so slightly. Exhaling to bend your elbows, find a chaturanga. And then inhaling, tuck your toes, press into your feet, pull your chest up, upward facing dog. And then exhale as you send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So that's always an option. You can always skip the vinyasa. You can even just come into child's pose, or if you wanted to do a connecting vinyasa. So inhale, right leg sweeps up and back. Exhale as you draw knee to nose and step it between your hands, spinning your back heel down. Inhale, rise up for warrior 2. So we'll find some movement in this pose, but first just taking a moment to get really settled and rooted. So pretty good bend in your front knee. And your right knee is going to be tracking just slightly open. So if you look down, you'll be able to see your big toe. And then arms are going to extend straight out from your shoulders, rolling away from your ears. So just relaxing your shoulders down your back. And then your back toe or your back foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. And then we'll find some movement. So as you inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up overhead. Maybe your gaze looks up. Exhale, flow back to warrior 2. And inhale, straighten, reach your arms up. Once more like that, back to warrior 2. And then as you inhale, press the ground away, straighten your leg, reach up. Sinking back into warrior 2, settling in. And then keeping your arms where they are, straighten your front legs, start to shift your hips back, fingers reach forward, reaching as far as you can, keeping length in both of your sides. And then once you've reached as far as you can, just release your right hand down. And it should be resting on something. I always like to rest it on my shin. If you can reach the ground, you can press it into the ground as well. We're coming into triangle pose. So actively pressing your right hand into something. If you have a block too, that's a great option. And with that pressing, that's going to allow your chest to open up. And then left arm reaches up towards the sky. Just breathing here, a few more breaths. And then using the strength of your core, bring yourself back up, sinking into the front knee once more. And then as you exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the earth and walk your right foot wide. And your hands are going to come to the inside of your right foot. So you're coming into a runner's lunge. And you can stay, I'm going to stay active for this time, but you're welcome to drop your knee if you'd like. So if you want to stay active, I would recommend maybe just rocking back and forth on the ball of your back foot. Just finding a few breaths here. And we'll get into that outer hip. So start to bring your right toes to open to the right. Allow this right knee to fall open and then coming over onto your left hip. So it's almost like this twisting motion. It's a lounge lunge. You should feel a little stretch on the outside of your right hip. Maybe I should turn this way. You can find some movement here as well. You might want to play around with where your feet are. Just breathing here. And then start to pick yourself back up, press rewind, coming back to a low lunge, runner's lunge. And then walk your right foot in, plant your palms, stepping back to plank pose. And here's your opportunity if you'd like to do a connecting vinyasa or just go straight back to downward facing dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Exhale as you draw knee to nose and step it between your hands. Spinning your back heel down. Inhale as you rise up for warrior two. Finding some stillness here before we get into the movement, feeling really strong and rooted in the bottom part of our bodies. So your feet are going to be pressing down and out. And then at the same time, your thighs are hugging into midline. So it's this really strong, nice isometric hold. And then arms extend out from your shoulders, roll away from your ears. We'll take one more breath here and then we'll start to find some movement. And with your next inhale, straighten your front leg, reach your arms up overhead, gaze lifts. And exhale, sink back into that front knee, releasing down to warrior two. Twice more like that. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sink in. Once more, lengthening up. And exhale, soften. Holding here for just a breath. And then keeping your arms where they are, start to straighten your front leg, shift your hips back, your left hand reaches forward. So you're lengthening forward as far as you can, and then just let that left arm land, or left hand land wherever it does. So you're not really crunching into your left side body to reach the floor or reach the ground. your shin is a perfectly good option. And pressing into your shin, opening up through your heart space, reaching your right arm up to the sky. Using your core to draw yourself back up to center, drop into that front knee, and cartwheel your hands to the earth. Left toe is gonna come to the outer edge of your mat. Hands are gonna come inside of your foot. And again, stay lifted and active here, or if you wanna drop down your knee, whatever feels appropriate for you today. And if you're active, you can find some movement, swaying back and forth, getting into that right hip flexor. And then we'll find that lounge lunge variation that we did on the other side. So turning your left toes open, your knee starts to open, and then just let your right hip come towards the mat. You should feel some sensation in your outer right hip. You can always play around and make some adjustments and movements just to see how that changes the sensation and the stretch. And then pressing rewind, making your way back through runner's lunge. Walking your left hand back to where your foot was. So now your left foot is in the middle of your hands. Step back to plank. And here's your option. You can go through a connecting vinyasa or just press straight back to downward facing dog. Let's take one deep inhale here. And then exhale, open mouth release, let it go. Maybe one more of those if that felt good. Let your head release towards the mat. No tension in your neck. And then with your next inhale, make your way to the top of the mat. So you can step, hop, or walk. Taking your time, making your way. And once you arrive, inhale, find a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale as you press into your feet. Come all the way up to standing. Arms reach overhead. Then exhale, hands through heart center. Palms released by your sides. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, find a fold. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank pose. You're moving through a connecting vinyasa if you'd like, chaturanga to upward facing dog, or just pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Exhale, draw your knee into your nose, step your foot between your hands. This time we'll lower onto the back knee. Keep your back toe tucked or untucked. It's really your preference, whatever you find most stable. And inhale, reach your arms up overhead, coming into a low lunge. And a couple different options here. If you really want to sink into the lunge and open up your chest, maybe find a back bend, that's a great option, maybe kind of like a more lunar stretching lunge. Or you can always pull your hips back, tuck your tailbone, keep your center line a little more integrated. That's an option as well. So maybe even finding some movement. So really just making this lunge what you need today. Just whatever you do, wherever your body is, make sure it's intentional. We'll find an inhale to lengthen up once more. Exhale, draw your palms to your heart space. And inhale to lengthen your spine. And then exhale as you hook left elbow outside right knee. You're coming into a twist here. Using your left elbow outside right knee. I'm not sure what I said, but that's what it should be. Left elbow outside right knee. So using your left elbow as leverage against your knee, pressing your palms together to open your heart towards the right. And even though you're in a twist, your shoulders should still continue to roll down your back. And inhale, release back to center. Reach your arms up once more. And exhale, release your hands to the earth. Start to straighten your front leg. Draw your hips back, coming into a half split. Find an inhale here to lengthen your spine. And exhale, draw chest to shin or chest to thigh. So try not to round here in the back. Try to keep length in your spine. You might not be able to go as far, but you'll be able to feel a little bit more sensation. And your front toes are going to be really active, flexing towards your face. And you can stay here, or another option is to start to walk your hands over to the right, outside your right foot, drawing your right toes towards the right. So kind of just feeling some activation in your IT band. And then making your way back to center, bending into your front knee, plant your palms, step your right foot to meet left, plank pose, going through vinyasa or not, whatever you choose for yourself today, meeting in downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath here, in through the nose, and a release out through the mouth. And with your next inhale, sweep your left leg up and back. Exhale, draw your knee into your nose, step it between your hands, softening your right knee down to the earth. Inhale, arms sweep up, low lunge. Same options here as last time. If you want to really sink into your lunge and get a nice stretch in your right hip flexor, opening up through the chest, that's an option. Or maybe you want to back off a little bit, tucking your tailbone, feeling some more integration and engagement and stability. Maybe you want to oscillate between the two. Really whatever feels good today. Just starting to listen to your body. And wherever you are, take one more inhale, lengthen your arms up towards the sky. And exhale, draw your hands to heart center, palms pressed together. Inhale, lengthen your spine once more. And exhale, twist over to the left, hooking right elbow outside left knee. So using that elbow against your knee to press and open your chest to the left, palms pressed together. Notice where you feel tension in your body, in your twist, and just try to breathe slow and send your breath there, creating space where there's tension. One more deep breath cycle here. And exhale, release back to center. Inhale, arms sweep overhead once more. And exhale, palms to earth. Start to shift your hips back, straighten through your front knee, coming into half splits on this side. Toes are super active, spine is long, heart reaching towards your toes. And you can stay here, or if you'd like to start to walk your hands over to the left side, coming onto the outside of your left leg, drawing your toes over to the left. Just really noticing how this sensation changes based on where your foot is. I can't tell if it feels good or bad. It's definitely interesting. And then start to walk your hands back to center, bending into your front knee. Palms plant, left foot steps to meet right. And here's your choice. Go through a connecting vinyasa or just fall, hips back, downward facing dog. And then drop down to your knees, finding a wide leg child's pose, bringing your knees wide. Let your hips sink back down to your heels. Arms reach out long in front of you. Release third eye to earth. Maybe rolling your forehead from side to side. We're going to start to wind it down here, but press back up into downward facing dog. And inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. And draw your right knee to your right wrist, right ankle to left wrist, finding a pigeon pose. So your front shin doesn't have to be parallel. In fact, you'll probably have more space in your hip if it's not. And then just walking your back toes out. And this is also a great place for a pillow. If you're kind of propped up, your right hip hanging in midair, you can slide a pillow or rolled up blanket under there just to give yourself some support. And inhale here to press your fingertips into the earth, find length in your spine. And then keeping all of that length, fold yourself forward, releasing your forearms, your head to the earth. We'll be here for about a minute. So just breathing slow, allowing yourself to release. And ever so slowly, start to press yourself back up. Coming onto your right hip, swing your left leg all the way around. So your left foot is going to plant outside your right knee. Right arm plants behind you. Inhale, lengthen your left arm up towards the sky. Then as you, nope, that's wrong, sorry. Left arm plants behind you. Inhale, lengthen your right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, hook your right arm outside your left knee, opening up, twisting to the left. And you can also take your right forearm and just kind of hug it around your knee and pull yourself open. And then here your head is just neutral with wherever your chest is facing. So you don't need to crank your neck over your left shoulder, just keeping it pretty in line with wherever your chest is. And then releasing the twist. Taking your right leg back behind you, maybe coming through pigeon just for one more breath. And then planting your hands, start to press yourself up to downward facing dog. Whatever movements you need here to neutralize your hips. We'll take all of this on the other side, but take your time getting there. There's definitely no rush. Just know that we're all going to meet in pigeon on the left. So your left knee will come to your left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. Start to walk your right toes out or back. And then if you have a pillow, you can prop it up under your left hip. And wherever you are, whenever you get here, just taking a moment, if you're gonna fold forward, take a minute to lengthen your spine, crown of your head reaches up, and then keeping that length when you fold your chest and heart space to the earth, releasing your forehead to the mat. We'll be here for about a minute as well. Just allowing yourself to release and soften. If you'd like to linger here a little longer, you can, or if you'd like to start to press yourself, you feel ready, back up. We'll find that twist that we did on the other side. So bringing your right leg, rolling over onto your left hip and bringing your right leg all the way around, stamping your right foot outside your left knee. Right hand's gonna come behind you for support. Inhale, reach your left arm up. And then exhale, hook left elbow outside right leg, right knee. So this is one option. You can also hook and find a twist here. Your spine is lengthening up with the inhale and maybe twisting open a little more with the exhale. And again, neck super neutral, not cranking your gaze over your shoulder, but just keeping it lined up with your heart. And when you feel complete, release the twist, taking your right foot all the way back behind you, coming once more through pigeon, maybe just for a minute. And then pressing yourself back to downward facing dog. Anything that you need to feel neutral in your hips, maybe lifting a leg, rolling out your hip. Take whatever you need and take your time. And we're gonna just meet in a seat. So swing your legs around. Once you arrive, you can kind of pull your flesh away from your sitting bones, wiggle your seat around. Find a forward fold here. So flex your feet. Inhale, lengthen your arms towards the sky. And exhale, fold forward any amount, trying to keep your spine long. Just for the first few breaths, and then we'll fold in a little bit further. So however far you can go with your spine long, just breathing here. And then just invite your spine to start to round and your head to draw towards your legs. Just a more passive stretch here. Your knees can also be bent if that's more comfortable. Trying to release a little bit more with each exhale. And then nice and slow, soft gaze, start to roll yourself back up, coming back to a seat. And then planting your feet on the earth, bending your knees, maybe scooching forward just a little bit so you're in the middle of your mat and have enough space. Start to roll yourself down one vertebra at a time, meeting on your backs. Bring your feet wide to the edges of your mat and then let your knees fall together, coming into constructive rest. Hands can plant on your body if that feels good and supportive. And then one more pose here before we release into Shavasana. Start to draw your knees into your chest and grab for the outer edges of your feet. So the balls of your feet, the bottoms of your feet are going to be facing towards the sky, and you're pulling your knees outside of your rib cage into your armpits, coming into happy baby. Your sacrum is completely on the earth, so try to fully press your back onto the earth, so no rounding in your spine to grab your feet. You can also grab the outsides of your thighs, or I guess the undersides of your thighs, if it's not quite accessible to grab your feet. And you can stay here in stillness, or if you'd like to find some movement, swaying from side to side, or maybe straightening one leg and then the other. And then when you're ready, release the grips on your feet. Release your feet to the earth. And then lengthen your legs out long in front of you. Let your toes fall open and wide. Hands release to your side. Palms face up. Coming into Shavasana. Completely releasing all effort. Coming back to the support of the earth. Just allowing yourself to be held for the next few moments. I'll bring us all out in just a few moments. ever so slowly, keeping your eyes closed, start to bring awareness back into your space, back into your body. Bringing some gentle movements into your fingers and your toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Releasing your head from side to side. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead for one final stretch. And then draw your knees into your chest and roll over onto either side. Just pausing for a moment in fetal position. And keeping your eyes closed, start to press yourself up to a seat. Coming into cross legs or a comfortable seat if it's something different. Feeling your sitting bones rooted back onto the earth. If it feels okay, I invite you to bring your palms to your heart space. Just taking a moment to honor our time together. No, it doesn't look what we're used to, but we're all here together in so many ways. Let's just take one deep breath cycle to honor our practice and time. Inhaling, fill up. And exhale, release. Blinking your eyes open, taking in your surroundings, in your room, in your space. Thank you guys so much for practicing today. My name is Meg, and I'm going to be doing, I think next Thursday, like a very early sun salutation class. So if you want to wake up and honor the day with some movement and celebration, that would be great. I would love to have some. So thank you guys so much. Have a great evening. Bye. Maybe.